right. I feel like we always have to open up these Bridgerton reviews with "Dearest gentle reader." So we'll get that out of the way.
It wouldn't be Bridgerton or a Bridgerton review if you didn't open up with that. So
yes,
there it is.
Dearest gentle reader, we are back. And I remember 2 years ago when we were covering season 3 and we heard, season 4, early 2026. We're like, 2 years? Are you serious? But here we are. It feels like that Paul Rudd meme. Look at us.
Yes. Look at us.
Who would have thought we'd be back?
Or it feels also like the meme from like Titanic with the old lady going, "It's been 87 years."
Uh-huh.
And that's what it kind of feels like.
It actually has flown by. When we got the screeners, it was like, already? But here we are to talk about Bridgerton season 4, which was out on Netflix January 29th. Today, if you're watching it on January 29th. And we're gonna chat about it, what we liked, maybe what we disagreed with. And we'll start off with a non-spoilery review of part 1.
Right. And before we do that, let's introduce ourselves for people who may not know.
I want to stay mysterious and unknown.
She wants to stay Lady Whistledown mysterious, which, by the way, spoilers, everybody knows who Lady Whistledown is by now, including the 10. But regardless, hi, I'm Julie. We are the Nerds Awaken, and joining me and who opened up the episode is my sister in podcasting, Janna. Hello, Janna.
Hi everyone. Yeah. I'm Janna.
So we are here with Big Gold Belt Media, but also as the Nerds Awaken, to talk all about Bridgerton season 4, part 1, just part 1, because just like last season and Stranger Things, they're going to stretch it out for as long as Netflix can. So we're going to give you our quick little, hey, this is what we thought, but we're going to really dive into it. So if you have not watched all 4 episodes, you have not devoured it hour by hour, episode by episode, do yourself a favor, do that right now. Then come back and join us because we have a lot of thoughts, and pretty sure you guys have some thoughts too. So we'll start with our initial spoiler-free thoughts. Janna, what did you think so far of Benedict season 4?
I was very pleasantly surprised how much I got into this couple. And this is the first Bridgerton series where I have not read the book first.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I didn't know. I knew it was kind of based on a Cinderella type trope. That's all I knew. I didn't particularly care for Benedict Bridgerton before this.
Yeah.
But in this season, he and Sophie are adorable.
Aww.
I loved them. I thought they were so great together. So the main couple, great. They have totally won me over. Everything else, there's too much everything else.
Yes.
Is basically how I feel about this season.
So whereas Janna isn't a book reader, you're not the book reader. You actually stopped after, I think, Colin's book.
Because you told me.
Because I said, read it.
How much you hated Benedict's book.
My bad. My bad. I'm a bad influence on you. I'm so sorry. But I am a book reader, and I did not like Benedict's book. I found it to be, for a 21st century mind, very problematic. There were a lot of red flags. I found Benedict's story to be quite boring. I did not care for the Cinderella trope in the book. So going into season 4, I may have had some preconceived notions. Maybe I wasn't as excited as the 3rd season. Plus, there was some 3rd season blues that were kind of left over. And we'll talk about those later. But I'm going to say this. I found myself really enjoying these episodes between Benedict and Sophie. I liked their storyline.
Yes.
With you, I felt that the side plots I could probably do without, or they could be tightened up.
Mm-hmm.
But I've said this before and I'll say it again. We have to remember this is not just Julia Quinn's Bridgerton. This is now Shonda Rhimes' Bridgerton. And with that comes the Shonda Rhimes feel of this is a soap opera now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not necessarily about one, even though they are the central couple, there is a world around them, and we're going to explore that world.
Yeah, and there's an ensemble cast that they are trying to include, which makes sense. I'm just not super interested in how it's playing out right now.
So those are our spoiler-free thoughts. We really enjoyed at least part one as a whole between our central couple. But now we're going to kind of dive into it. So like we said, if you haven't watched, if you are planning on watching and you don't want to be spoiled, if you don't want to be spoiled, just press pause right here and then come back to us. And
we'll wait.
I mean, or just press pause because we're not going to wait that long. So let's get into it. Let's get into who we're here for, which is Benedict Bridgerton and Sophie Baek. They changed her name. She is now Sophie Baek. Like we said, we loved them. They're adorable. But she is the star, I think, of this show. Like, she's the diamond this season. That's my opinion. She's phenomenal. So Yerin Ha joined the cast this year. And what she brings to Sophie is something, I can't believe I'm about to say this, is 10 times better than book Sophie. There, I said it.
Really?
I know.
How is she different from book Sophie?
The strength. There is a strength that she has, this confidence that she exudes, how she knows herself, and just how she interacts with Benedict. There is no fear behind it. It is, this is who I am. This is what I think. And I'm not going to, just because you're a Bridgerton, I'm not going to censor myself. I mean, she's not, don't get me wrong, she's not rude, not at all. But there's this presence that she has that doesn't, it's definitely not diminished when he enters the scene. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she feels very strong and grounded in reality, while also having at times this very innocent wonder. Like when we open up in the first, was it the first episode or the second episode?
At the ball?
First episode. Yeah, at the ball. And she's just staring at the chandelier. And like she's probably seen a lot of chandeliers in her life, probably cleaned a lot of chandeliers in her life. But she has kind of those both sides. She knows the hardness of the world, the unfairness of her position. But she's not super jaded. No. She still can have wonder over, experiences in the world around her and simple things. So she's very well-rounded, and Yerin Ha is doing such a good job of playing those both sides, like the practical side that's grounded in reality and the, innocent, more childlike side that appreciates the beauty around her.
Right. The wonder of it all, because it is a spectacle. And I, like we said, that first scene that we see her, at first I was like, oh, it's a chandelier. Come on now. But it is that sense of like being there. We get to experience that with her. And if you don't know Sophie's story, it is a story where she does have a foot in the world of the Ton. She is an illegitimate child of, I believe, I want to say a lord. And she also has her foot in with the staff. So she essentially is like Cinderella. She starts off in this world of the Ton, but after the death of her father, she is downgraded because she is a bastard. She is downgraded and is now a servant, made, to her own stepmother and stepsisters. So yes, very Cinderella. And that's where I was like, oh, I'm really afraid of what they're going to do with the Cinderella storyline. It's just kind of cringy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually thought they handled it well, respectful. I felt that I wasn't as annoyed with that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It settled well as the story progressed. That's how I felt.
Do you think it's because they made the very intentional effort from the opening scenes even to show the downstairs side of Bridgerton?
Mhm.
Like we got
Yes.
a really close look at, the Bridgerton downstairs and their
Mhm.
staff
Yeah.
and, the theme of maids and
Right.
their working relationships with their employers.
Mhm.
Do you think that kind of helps set it up a little bit more?
I definitely think that. I think when we talk about this world of Bridgerton, we can't ignore the fact that there is, I don't want to say this, underbelly. That sounds so just dark.
Seedy underbelly.
But there is this world that allows their world to
Yes.
happen.
Mhm.
And at first when it happened, I was like, "Oh, are we going, almost like a Downton Abbey?"
Yeah, it's like upstairs, downstairs,
Yeah.
and
So
the downstairs has been pretty seen but not heard for
right.
the
I
last,
mean,
the previous 3 seasons.
really, the only maids we have known are Mrs. Varley,
Mhm.
the Featheringtons' maid, and, uh, Mrs. Wilson, who is the Bridgertons', she's essentially the lady's maid for Lady Bridgerton. So and what we've seen of them, I feel like we've seen more of Varley than anything, but
Mhm.
now we get to see that these people have their stories, their excitement, they flirt with each other. There's these connections that are made. So I think, yes, that definitely helped. It wasn't just she's a maid.
Mhm.
And then the power struggle between her and Benedict, which I think really didn't set well with my soul when I was reading the
Mhm.
book. And we'll talk about that,
Yeah.
because it does happen.
I've got things to say
It
about
it
the
does
power
happen again.
dynamics.
So, yeah, I mean, as a book reader, seeing that world and then transitioning into the world of the ball, of Sophie, of her life, I think definitely made an impact, and that was a really good decision, I think, on the writer's part
Mhm.
to include the staff and to include them not just as these background characters, but actually bring them to the forefront. Now, I mean, are we gonna see more of them? Maybe, who knows? But
Mhm.
I think having her, know that world is gonna play throughout her time at Bridgerton. And the other thing too, and I liked this, was how the Bridgertons treat their staff. Now, they do not treat their staff as equals. It's not
Mhm.
like, "Hey, join us at this ball," but they do treat them as people. They
Mhm.
talk to them, they engage.
Valued employees.
Right, they engage with them. Lady Bridgerton, when Sophie is brought on as staff because Benedict wants to help her, uh, when she's brought on, Lady Bridgerton is very appreciative of her and actually invites her to tea and sits with her, and wants to get to know her as a person.
Mhm.
So right there, that's what sets the Bridgertons apart from others, whereas we see the Featheringtons treat, even though they call Miss Varley, "Oh, you are
Family.
family." She's not
Mhm.
family.
Mm.
She's definitely not family. So I did like that inclusion of the staff. Um, were there other subplots that I was happy about? No, and we'll talk about that, but I
Mhm.
liked it. I liked it.
Mhm.
So
Um, yes, I loved everything with Sophie.
mhm,
And her family, the Penwoods were really good
mhm,
too.
yeah.
Katie Leung as
Oh,
Araminta,
oh,
so good. Like she's wretched,
mhm,
but I
mhm,
also kind of liked that they showed her pain at
mhm,
discovering that her new husband had this illegitimate child that he never ever told her about.
Right.
It's like she's not really redeemable.
No.
But I like that they gave her a little bit of depth. Like, where is
Right.
all this animosity coming from? We get to see that.
Mhm.
The two daughters, great. I love Posey.
Posey.
Posey is too sweet for this family. We need
No.
to get her away.
We need Posey to be adopted and absorbed into the Bridgerton family. They need a Posey. They
Yes.
need that little innocent, Posey is a child. She has the mind of a child. We're not saying anything else, but she definitely has that innocence and that kindness that unfortunately her mother wants to snuff out.
Mhm.
But I will say Katie Long is her villain energy
Mhm.
is strong.
And the way they've dressed her, like,
Oh.
in, like, the sharp, like, fitted black
Mhm.
dresses. She is a great character. I'm loving her.
Okay, so let's we'll talk costume later, but definitely there was a different feel with costumes and tone in regards to color palettes this season. We'll
Mhm.
talk about that in a second because you and I were also talking about that, like something's off, something's different. But yes, her just the
Mhm.
black,
Like, the
the
straight line, like, the straight pointy line
yes,
of the shoulders and
the rigidity. Even her mask was just the darkness of her mask is that of her soul. She's great. She's amazing, amazing, and a villain you want to hate, and that's what villains should be. The villain you
Mhm.
want to hate, because let's face it, we don't have Cressida this season. Cressida's
Oh, I
gone.
mean, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I've seen rumors that Cressida might,
Ooh,
uh, still appear.
ooh.
'Cause I feel like there were rumors that there was a connection between Cressida and Araminta. Do you remember that?
Well, maybe it's their soul. Maybe they both share one,
Maybe.
and it's dark, and they made a deal with the devil. Who knows?
There was, like, some theories about a connection between Araminta and Cressida, but I don't remember exactly.
That's okay.
But yeah,
But
you love to hate
right.
Araminta, but
Oh,
she's also, like I said, she's not one-dimensional.
well,
It's like you
and
take maybe not a person who was not bad,
right.
and then, after the loss of two husbands and, having a very probably jaded relationship with the last one because he lied to you. And even in the dad's flashback scenes, he seems like not a great dude.
No, he's cold. He lies about his daughter. He calls her his ward. The
Mhm.
daughter's even told by staff, "Do not call him papa.
Yeah.
Don't call him your father." And that was because he told them that. That's not on them.
Mhm.
That's 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 his direction to them. So he's not the greatest either. And so there's that. Um, Somebody I really want to talk about, because in the past we haven't been too crazy about his character. He's always just been there as the middle child, as the spare to the heir, and that is Benedict. Um, what's your take on him this season? Because last season there were some changes. We kind of
Mhm.
expected some of them. But what's your take on Benedict? I almost said Benedict Cumberbatch. I just don't want to say it. Benedict Bridgerton this season.
Little BB. I in previous seasons, I really liked Benedict's scenes, really only with Eloise.
Mhm.
Almost every season, those two had a really good scene together, usually
Right.
on the swings. That's tradition.
Mhm.
Um, he just was I didn't find him very important.
No.
And so this season, when it opens up and he's struggling to fill Anthony's shoes while he's gone. He's lost direction, he's lost meaning, he's not
Mhm.
doing his art. He's just banging his way through London like all the Bridgerton boys do. And I'm like, why is that? Why am I so upset at that? And I had the realization literally this morning as I was getting ready. I'm like, it's the misogyny
Yes.
of it all. Like
Right.
every Bridgerton boy has the luxury of when they're not content, when they don't know what to do with their lives, they, like I said, they can just bang their way through London.
Yeah.
And like that privilege is only afforded to a man. So it irks me to see it employed over and over again.
Right.
And how, like, you know, if a woman in the Bridgerton family or a woman in the Ton is also feeling those same feelings, what can they do about it? They can't even sneeze in another man's direction without tarnishing their reputation.
Right.
So I was really like, ugh.
And that is actually explored a little bit because they talk about men can have mistresses. You can go get married, but you can also have a mistress.
You can have mistresses. You can't be a mistress without being a whore.
Right. And that's, you know, there was that moment. Once again, I think the characters of the staff are starting to come up and being not just background, you know, characters.
And given more of a voice, like
so
the Crabtrees.
Mrs. Crabtree is the one who tells Benedict when he brings Sophie to his cottage, the family cottage, she says, I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to seduce her. I know that you want to be with this woman, but let me tell you, that's reality check here, kid. While you can go off and marry and have a successful life and still be part of the Ton, you defile her, she has no job. She's outcast. She's done. And once again, it's the misogyny that exists in the Ton, and that they definitely point out. You know, there's Lady Bridgerton who has to, and this is her choice too, though. She's still, you know, she's still unsure of how to handle something like this. She can't just say to her children, I'm having a friend come over. You all need to leave, right? Get up, get out. It has to be very secret. It has to be, we're having tea, you know? And then even
evening tea
with Anderson, you know, Lord Anderson, she has to kind of flirt, and she has to do it very stealth. You know, it's these little side pink. I'm doing my pinky because that was one of the scenes, was the pinky. They touched pinkies. Oh my goodness. So I think, like you said, it's men can go off and have multiple marriages. Their wife dies, they can go get married again. But there is different rules for women, and the show does talk about this. It explores that. Benedict,
it was so frustrating.
It is frustrating.
I'm like, another Bridgerton boy. Just and every single Bridgerton son has had a threesome that we've seen.
It's like
I don't know why it keeps showing up. Other than like Simon, every male lead has
had a threesome.
So just like the misogyny of it all, it was making me really mad.
Well, a big thing, because we have a masquerade ball, and the masquerade ball is about identity and covering who you are. And that's what I think Benedict is searching for, is his identity. Like we said, he's the spare. He has to now take on the job that would be reserved to Viscount Bridgerton, which, by the way, they're in India still. They made sure to tell us that within the first episode. Although Jonathan Bailey is still listed as part of the cast for season 4. Just saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is. Netflix put out the cast list, and he's on it. So maybe they make an appearance in part 2, but they did not make an appearance in part 1. Probably because Jonathan Bailey is either fighting dinosaurs or turning into a scarecrow. Spoiler alert.
Busy.
But you know, we see him struggling with that sense of, who am I? My identity? What is my place in all of this? So I did appreciate that exploration. I'm with you, though. I'm more about, get Sophie in the scene. Just get him. Just get her in the scene with him.
And that's what I wanted to mention. I love who Benedict is with Sophie. He's adorable. He's charming. He's like rediscovering his artistic side. He doesn't, because you know, he's trying to paint and draw the Lady in Silver. He doesn't know it's Sophie, but somehow having Sophie around all the time, he's getting back into his art. And I'm like, who is this like boyish, charming gentleman? I have not met him before.
Welcome.
I'm like,
Welcome to the fold, Benedict.
He's precious. So Benedict, and I did love Benedict's scenes with Violet.
Yes.
Which first and second episode, Violet, like she was going full Mrs. Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. It got really weird for a little bit where she was like, marriage.
Right.
She toned down a little bit towards the end of part 1.
Right.
Which I liked. But yeah, I love
because she had her own thing going on that she wanted to
she
focus on.
Busy with her own garden, getting watered and drinking tea.
I know all the analogies. Just all the analogies. One thing I will say, going back to Benedict and his essentially rediscovering his love of art.
I know what you're gonna say.
For an artist, you still don't know that Sophie is the lady in silver. Don't get me wrong, her gown and her mask were beautiful, but it's not like her mask was this elaborate ploy to hide her entire face. Her mask literally just covered her skin. But if I were to put on a mask like this and walk around, you would know it's still me. And it's all it did was cover just like her eyebrows maybe, but didn't cover her nose or her lips. And as an artist, I would like for you to be a little bit more aware.
Like his eye for detail should be better than that. So that was like, I could not suspend disbelief that he didn't recognize. And like trying to compare faces, the scene where the Mondrich's neighbor is over and he's like looking at her. I'm like, she's clearly not Asian.
Right.
Which the lady in silver clearly was.
I mean, the eye holes in Sophie's mask literally are like this. They are so large. It wasn't, and they weren't covered with like anything at all. You still can't tell me you see the difference. And that just shows me that Benedict's short-term memory needs help. Take some Prevagen, bro. Like, I don't know what you need. Like, that was work on that.
If they were going to make it so difficult for him to find her, they should have made the mask a little bit where, like, I don't even know, like put mesh over the eyes or literally only leave her lips visible. So that's all he remembers.
Yes. I know. And that's where and once again, I oh my God, this is so.
And like it's a spoiler. Please watch the episodes. He even kisses her. Like he kisses the lady in silver and then he kisses Sophie and still
nothing.
Cannot put it together.
I'm just like, oh, you need to go back to art school.
Or get some spectacles. Like
also, there was this moment, and this is so petty of me, where Sophie is looking at his art and she goes, "It's so expressive," and all it is a picture of trees, and it looks like Target art to me. I was like, oh my God, I saw that at Target in the Joanna Gaines Magnolia section.
I liked it. Like it was soothing. I don't think
it's revolutionary. But that's the other thing too. As he's painting the lady in silver, he leaves her face blank. And all this time we keep seeing him remember the face. So I'm like, put it down on paper. Put one and one together, dude. It's the person standing literally in front of you for the longest periods of time. So that was my own thing. My other, and while I absolutely loved the chemistry between the two of them, it was palpable. It jumped off the screen. I feel like that was missing maybe in the third season, the season that, we were really, really excited for. And I feel like they have it between these two leads. My one issue is I feel like the dialogue does not match their chemistry. And then in the sense that I don't feel like anything is memorable about what they talk about. To me, like if you were to ask me when they engaged, what stood out to you? I feel like every single season we can, or at least in the first two, anybody can name a speech, a moment between two characters that just resonates with us, that stays with us long after the show ends, including, I would say, Queen Charlotte. as well, the spin-off show. Last season, I feel like this was a problem, and I feel like it's again this season. While there is the chemistry, and I love these two actors together, nothing is sticking for me. Like, I cannot tell you for the life of me, unless I watched it again, what a lot of their dialogue is. A lot of it is just kind of there, surface, and then it goes away. Does that? I don't know.
I agree to an extent, but it doesn't bother me.
No.
I like that they're after they meet again after the ball. I like that their interactions aren't immediately intense.
Right.
I like that they're casual, that they're not memorable, that there isn't this, even though they have good scene chemistry, there's not this immediate intense sexual energy, which I feel like particularly season 2, I also did not like the dialogue in season 2 because it was too intense. There was no casual conversation, and they were like, there was just so much emotion in every single one of their scenes. I didn't like that. So I think this more slower, casual approach where they talk about the rain, they talk about whatever. You're right. I can't remember.
See? But
I liked it. It felt like more of not a friendship developing, but a little more slow burn where they're
a connection.
Yeah, they're just two humans connecting and kind of enjoying each other's company. She's not immediately, even though she knows like, oh, this is the dude I made out with. She just treats him like another person.
Okay, but you're like, there's no intensity. She kisses him within the first 10 minutes of knowing him.
So that's the Lady in Silver and Benedict. When it's just Sophie and Benedict, she's
sharp with him.
Yeah.
She doesn't, like I said, when it's Sophie, not the Lady in Silver, but Sophie, she doesn't be like, oh, you're a Bridgerton, you're Mr. Benedict, I have to placate to you.
Yeah, she's not simpering. She's not, oh, we kissed and you don't know. She's just herself.
Yeah.
So like, yes, while the scenes and the dialogue aren't super memorable, I kind of liked it. I kind of liked that there wasn't an immediate intensity between them. And they built it up a little bit. And they were just able to have casual conversations. Like, two normal people.
But I don't know. I'm just so wanting that moment that just...
So like the last couple moments of episode 4, because that's where it gets memorable, because he tells her, you consume me. And
yes,
I mean, he immediately ruins it. Immediately.
I'm like, he just blocked himself. Wait. And that really, let's talk about the mistress plot.
Okay.
Because that's the spoiler. Part 2, episode 4 ends with the cringiest declaration ever, which is, Sophie, will you be my mistress? Oh my God.
Be my mistress, baby.
Oh my God. And I just wanted to be like, I know why you're saying that, because that's okay, but...
And that's the problem. It is incredibly historically accurate.
Right.
And the best, depending on the guy, the best situation a maid could hope for.
Right.
She would be, elevated in her standard of living. All her needs would be taken care of. It would be more glamorous. She wouldn't have to work. I mean, her reputation would be in the gutter. Like, once you're a mistress, you don't go back.
No, not at all.
Else. And I like that they set up that her mother was a mistress.
Yes.
And so she already has a deep-seated
resentment
feeling,
towards it.
Resentment, feeling like knowing the injustice of it, because she was the child of a mistress. And it's like, it's historically accurate. In real life, yes, Sophie would have absolutely said yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But this is Bridgerton.
Yeah.
And we see his feelings growing for her. We see that he definitely treats her differently. And that when he says that, it just not only took her out of it took us out of the moment. And it just almost like cheapened his feelings for her because he's like, oh, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But it's like,
it's the only option in his mind.
right.
It's
But
the only way they can be together if she's his mistress.
But it just cheapened. It just cringe. And at the same time, though, and I will say this, while we were like, screw you, Benedict, it gave her the opportunity to show her self-worth, her self-respect. And I think she did a wonderful job showing that and conveying that, and the way she walked away. So while it's very cringy, and like you said, it is historically accurate, it gave her the opportunity to shine and remind us all that she is not your typical maid. She's not like other girls.
She's not like other maids.
Right. But man, was that cringy. I went, oh.
It was literally like cold water being thrown on you. Because like it was a great scene. Like,
oh, it was hot.
Him searching for her, her running up the stairs, him, and then just that that's where the chemistry really exploded. Oof. We see each other in the stairwell and just
the culmination of everything. Yes.
And then that shock and you can literally see like the cold water hit her face, and she's like,
it's a cold shower of his words.
And he like that dumb puppy Benedict even looked so happy while he was asking.
I know. Like he's like, this is gonna
like
work.
He's proposing.
Like, look at this, guys. I'm so proud of myself. Rock your
baby. Be my mistress.
And you just go, oh, you dumb boy. You dumb boy. So yes, it ends in, at least for part 1, it ends with her walking away and not even looking back. She never looked back. Walking away and joining her new friends. But, with everything, with all of the things we loved about this season, and Benedict and Sophie, there was some things. It's not just them. It's not just their story anymore. Season 4, we get more subplots. It was like they doubled down.
We tried to write them all down.
We couldn't.
Because last season we talked about all the side plots. And we're like, we can't do this. We can't do this now. There's too many, and in part 1, we don't yet see how all of them are connected and why they matter.
Right. I think one of the biggest, well, let's talk about some of them. One is the maid wars, which, by the way, Lady Whistledown, clearly the well is running dry for her gossip because now she's just focusing on the maid wars.
I know. Well, and she can't, it's not anonymous, so she can't be really mean.
I know. That was
anonymously mean anymore. So it's
everybody knows she's Lady Whistledown, yet people, you pointed out, you're like, people still talk near her. Do they want to be in Whistledown?
Why would you still have private conversations with Penelope Bridgerton in the room?
Also, Benedict's your brother-in-law. He's now part of your family. Do you think that's wise to write about your own brother-in-law? And what got me was that Violet was not angry about that. She was angry because Penelope knows more about what's going on with Benedict than she did. I would be like, you're missing the mark, Mom. You're kind of missing the mark. So yes, we have the maid wars, and Varley leaves the Featheringtons, which did you care about the maid wars?
I didn't care about all the Whistledown stuff about the maid wars. Yeah. But we've seen a lot of Varley, particularly last season. So I was interested in that. And it was, I feel like the Featheringtons, the mom, what's her name again?
I just call her Lady Featherington.
Yeah.
That's all
I'm trying to remember her name.
Oh, in real life, it's Polly. Isn't it Polly Walker?
Yes, who I love.
She's amazing.
You kind of see her, you thought she was redeemed a little bit because she treats Penelope so much better. She loves Colin. She has a better relationship with her daughters, but she's still trash to Varley. Like, she has not, that's, one more leap.
Yes.
personality, decency leap that she has to make. So it was hard seeing her not understand the importance of Varley and Varley's worth.
Right.
So I am interested to see Varley with the Penguins.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
will they treat her any better?
right. And no, please, no. And to see Varley too, the heartbreak when she realizes, like, when the courage that she had to, that she had to ask for a raise, a simple raise.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cost
then,
of living raise.
yeah,
That's
that's
all it
all
was.
she needed. That's all she needed. And then the heartbreak when she sees the dresses after being told, we can't afford to give you a raise. And then she sees the dresses going by and she's like, okay.
Mm-hmm. So, like, good for Varley. Like,
She does.
yeah,
The
leave.
other,
Take a better situation.
and like I said, so we have that. And then we see, I want to say this, and I really liked this. The person to encourage Violet Bridgerton is Mrs. Wilson, who tells her, you get to live your life. You get to have a life to live.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's no judgment.
Right.
She says something like, we all drink tea.
We all drink tea. Go live your life. Here's my one issue with Violet Bridgerton's storyline with Lord Anderson. Is that it's just being relegated to the side story where she just needs to get laid, and she wants to get laid by this man, and she needs this, and she needs to have tea, and she's doing these things, which I mean, I appreciated as we're getting older, our bodies are changing, and it's like, okay, I'm not as springy anymore as I used to be, and things like that. So I liked that, but here's my thing. I would rather have a spin-off show like they did for Queen Charlotte for Violet, and kind of have her going through this I'm falling in love again, juxtaposed to the story of her and of Violet and Edmund. I would love to see that explored more, why it's so hard for her to find another love, because she had this great love with Edmund, and I know we all know how their story ends. I know that it's tragic, but we never really get to hear how their story begins. And I feel like it's just being rushed. Like, here it is. They're touching pinkies. They're sitting
when
closer.
you think about it, their relationship was in Queen Charlotte. It was in all last season. So now
Edmund? Edmund? And
Violet and Lord Anderson.
It was in Queen Charlotte?
Yeah.
I thought she met him in season 3 of Bridgerton.
I thought she met him in Queen Charlotte.
Because Queen Charlotte is where she discovers more about, she tells Lady Danbury about her garden. And
I think she meets, because Anderson is Danbury's brother.
Right. I thought she met him in season 3.
I thought she met him in Queen Charlotte. We'll have to
Lady
look this
Danbury, we find out, has an affair with Violet's dad. But I was hoping we could see more of Edmund, and that relationship kind of progressing.
Because we haven't really seen her connection to Edmund. It's been mentioned a lot, but we haven't seen it.
She's got his little portrait on her nightstand or her dressing table.
But we're also not given enough time to really get to know Lord Anderson.
Exactly. That's and I'd like to know more of why at first Lady Danbury was so hesitant about her brother and starting a friendship with Violet. Like, what's the story? You know what I mean? The story behind that. I think you're right. I think we do meet him in, maybe, I don't know. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking it
There's
up.
so many storylines. See, this is the problem.
It is.
Also, but like I said, I always have liked Violet Bridgerton, but like you said earlier this season, in the first 2 episodes of season 4, she's got this strong, like, she definitely has that I need to match my children vibe, and that's her only goal. And it's like,
it comes on really strong in the first 2 episodes,
right.
And then maybe that's why they give her the Lord Anderson
They have to. They have
storyline
to.
to distract her from
Right.
the
Right.
overbearing matchmaking.
Right. Or else she's just, you're right. She's nothing like, or she's just becomes, Mrs. Bennett.
Yeah.
But but what's interesting, and I feel like her storyline about finding love again is very much the same storyline that's going to happen for, or should be happening for, another character. Can we talk? We got to talk. We got to talk about Francesca. Let me just say this again. This is our feelings about Francesca. One, we never had a problem. I think you and I were both like, okay, they switched Michael to Michaela. We never had a problem with that. We're like, this is a show about inclusion. This is a show about about making other people feel seen and heard, not just certain type of people, you and me. So we were very much like, okay, we get that.
We still think it should have been Eloise.
We still think it should have been Eloise.
We're like, oh, okay, this is the direction they're going.
We know that there's a lot of fans. We have some people in our lives, friends, who are like very upset with this. That is not to say that they are, like, they're not open-minded. They're very much open-minded, but they had their reasons. While other people are like, I like it. I feel seen. Thank you. Thank you, Shonda. Thank you, Jess. I think it's Brownman.
Brownell, I think.
Yeah, Brownell. The new showrunner. We never have a problem with that. Here's my issue. And I really figured, like, you mentioned it last season, Janna, and I think and it's very much evident this season. It's a sense of, the issue is how this change diminishes Francesca's relationship with John. And if you're a book reader like me and you have read Francesca's story, you know that the story, and this is what really gets me, is that the book itself explores how a person can have two great loves in their life. There's no rule that says only one and that's it. That's all you get in your life. No, sometimes when life deals you a blow, you have the opportunity to have two. Spoiler alert, if you want to not know what happens to John, skip ahead probably about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I will say. John dies. There it is. John will eventually die. Sorry if I'm spoiling anything. And that really wrecks Francesca's world. And then when cousin Michael, or Michaela, comes along, it's not this sense of immediate attraction. It's this connection that they have. And it starts, whereas it really is Michael who has feelings first for Francesca. Francesca learns and grows and realizes that life can start again, and you can have two of these great loves, and that one is not necessarily better than the other.
Whereas the show is definitely setting one up as better than the other, starting from their wedding day.
Yeah, their wedding is
like feels icky if you don't know what happens with Francesca's story. And they set it up very clearly that Francesca's true love was Michaela.
Right.
On like literally her wedding day. So if you don't know what happens, it's like it feels very emotional affair.
Yes.
Ish. Yes. And if you have read the books, the very like strong, fulfilling relationship that Francesca and John have. So making Francesca immediately conflicted
and a bumble, like almost like a bumbling mess.
And that's how you know, because Violet has this long speech about, oh, when I first met Edward, like I couldn't even remember my own name. So that it was very clear. They made it very, very clear.
Right.
That, Francesca isn't actually in love.
Right.
With
She
John.
She just settled.
She settled. And so Francesca's whole storyline is she's not having good sex after a couple of years. Even she can't communicate with her husband about it. until episode 4.
Well, and that's what gets me. Like, and this is the problem. And you mentioned this last time too, was they give us this character of John, and John accepts Francesca for everything she is, faults and all. He speaks Francesca. He knows Francesca. She fakes an orgasm, which, by the way, pinnacle, which I'm liking how she doesn't know what a pinnacle is, but knows how to fake one.
I know.
I'm like, okay. And he tells her, you don't have to do that with me. And then he goes, just let me know. Like, it's okay. We have a lifetime. No, you don't. But he makes her feel that she can be herself with him. And they give us these moments. And then all of a sudden, those moments between them, they're truncated because here's Michaela and here's Francesca freaking out.
And Michaela making it very obvious that Francesca doesn't know how to act around her.
Right.
Like, you look like you've seen a ghost.
Right.
Like,
okay,
can you not be chill?
Yeah. And it's right there that the writers want us to remember that no matter what, like you said, John will never make Francesca feel the way she feels about Michaela. But here's my other thing too. The problem is we don't really understand why Francesca feels this way. Like, we don't see them interact, and I'm sure that will happen more as the story progresses. But we don't get this whole notion of, well, I mean, you saw her once, and then you're like, oh, she's pretty. I like her. But their interactions have been limited, and all we know is that she just thinks Francesca is attractive. There's nothing connecting them. And that's where I think the fault of the writers with trying to push this storyline, moving it so far ahead, is that we don't get this connection. And yet, like we said, it's the story of you're missing the mark here. Francesca gets to have two great loves. Give her John a great love.
We're invested in John right now.
Right.
We're not invested in Michaela.
Yeah. And I know people are upset. Like, there's some people who are still upset about it is, and they do kind of address it in this season, which is the infertility that Francesca thinks because she has not reached her pinnacle, she has not gotten pregnant. We see her looking at a child, longingly, which, by the way, second episode, she had no lines. Like, that was probably the easiest script for that actress. She was like, that's all she had to do.
Looking at a baby.
And sigh. I think sigh was what she had to do. And I know, like I said, that with this change, I think some people are a little bit, who have gone through their own sense of, their own moments of, experiences with infertility. They're not happy with that. But I also think a big part of Francesca's story is finding love again after tragedy and holding both of those relationships, having space in your heart for both of them. And that's where I think
it's hard seeing it at the same time.
Right.
That she has this confliction in her every time Michaela shows up. I feel like that has been too soon.
Right. Exactly. Somebody we were kind of nervous for, or a couple we were nervous for, because we were just like, okay, what's your point? Like, because they didn't know what to do with them last season, and we were kind of nervous they didn't know what to do with them this season, and they kind of figured it out towards the end. The Mondriches.
I'm struggling with Queen Charlotte.
This season. Me too.
She's giving major petulant child.
Yes.
Vibes. She's a bad friend. So I guess it's hard after loving her so much in Queen Charlotte to now be like, girl, what are you doing?
I know.
Why are you, like, we know you're the queen. You don't have to be such a bitch about it.
Well, also, like, can you have more than one mode, which is gossip about other people's love life? Like, there's other things going on in this world that you should be focused on. And it's always like, I need to know who is going to be the diamond. Now I want a man to be the diamond dish, or whatever she calls him. And I'm just like, I'm like,
well, and if it's like, okay, Queen Charlotte seems like a really miserable person. Give us, we know the background with George. Keep reminding us though.
Well, and that,
like, let us see her cracks.
Yes. Well, and she does with Danbury. She finally says, I'm afraid of losing him. He's going to die. And she breaks down with her friend. And it was like, oh, take that moment, writers. Take that moment and go with it. And it was like, we get it. And it's gone. And then she's back to being like, I want to gossip. You can't go to your motherland. You have to stay here and be my lady in waiting. And that lady in waiting is maybe, most likely, going to be. It
was so shady.
It was so shady. And I have to say this, all because Alice had a little bit of gossip. That was it. That's why that was on her resume. To be her lady in waiting.
Maybe Alice didn't want to be a lady in waiting. Like, it's time consuming. It's very time consuming. She's got children.
And now she's going to have to dedicate so much of her time to this woman.
But maybe they'll really focus on building a friendship between the Queen and Alice. If they do that in part 2, I'll be fine with that.
I'll be fine with it. I will be fine with it.
And make it beneficial for Alice too. Not just, the Queen has a friend. Like, let Alice get something out of this.
Exactly.
Not just a burden.
I did like Danbury's exchange with Alice explaining why. Like, this is who she needs. She needs somebody who's going to speak directly to her and not kowtow to everything she says. She needs somebody strong. I texted you this while we were watching, but I truly do think it's true that when they were writing the scene between Danbury and Queen Charlotte about, I would like to leave. I'd like to go to my motherland. Nope, you can't go. I get that, but I would like to go. I texted you and I was like, I think this is exactly this word for word what Regé-Jean Page said to Shonda Rhimes. No, you can't go. You're contractually obligated. Is he contractually obligated? Damn it, no.
I'd like to leave. Let me go.
So there's that storyline. Like I said, there's a lot of spinning plates in the air. Is there a particular storyline that wasn't Benedict and Sophie that you were, I'd like to see this more in part 2?
I would like them to be setting up Eloise more.
Yes.
We got some scenes with her and Hyacinth.
Yeah.
I don't quite see how they make sense yet. You know, Eloise is still Eloise. She's still not interested at all in, marriage or running a house. So there's not really anything new there. We get more of Hyacinth, which we have not gotten before.
And she stands up to her sister and tells her off, which I'm like, good for you.
So I guess I care about that one and wish it had been a little more developed than maybe the Maid Wars or Danbury and the Queen and Violet and Lord Anderson. Because, Eloise you'd think Eloise would be next. I mean, maybe it's Francesca. I don't know.
Well,
but I just love Eloise, so I want to
also
more time with her.
Eloise, and we've said this is one of our favorite characters. She's one that is consistently strong in acting. And her one thing this year was, I want to be on the shelf. I want to be on the shelf. I want to be on the shelf. And we're like, there's more to you than just being on the shelf.
So, like, what hobbies are you exploring? Like, what are you doing with, kind of the same as Benedict? Like, what are you doing with your life?
Exactly. And if you know your mother's going to, and that's what I think they're setting up is, your mom is trying to match you. Why do you continually come back?
Yeah. Stay in Scotland if you really, really want to be on the shelf.
And I will say, in a season that's full about questioning identity and who we are and things like that, the only person who's really sure of herself is Hyacinth.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, Get me married. I want to run a house. I want to plan parties.
And we find out she snuck into like 3 different balls, you know, where they can't pull Eloise out of her room. But Hyacinth is the one who's sure of herself. I want that confidence. And I'm in my 40s. Give me that confidence. But yeah, I want more with Eloise.
Yes. And I hope we see more of Eloise with Sophie. Because we see that Eloise really takes to Sophie very quickly. So I hope they can have a friendship and help each other.
Absolutely.
And I hope we get a little more development with Eloise.
That shows the difference between the Bridgertons and their staff than other characters. They engage with their staff. Like Sophie and Eloise develop a friendship. And they talk about books and culture and French and Latin. And they don't relegate their staff to being, you're just the help, so be quiet. No, they engage with them. They interact with them. They connect with them. So I want to see more of that. I want to see more for Eloise. I'm with you that Eloise's story needs to be developed more. I am very intrigued by Alice Mondrich and how she is going to be different from the Lady Danbury. Is there a subplot you're like, get rid of it, or done?
I think just the Lady Whistledown aspect.
Yes.
I still love the Julie Andrews voiceovers. Never get rid of those.
Never.
But do we need to always see a scene of Penelope writing them? And the focus on gossip when like everyone knows who
she is.
So I don't really see the point of still including it. So I would have been fine if we took that time and put it towards Benedict and Sophie.
Absolutely. And we've already seen she's proud that she's Lady Whistledown. We don't need to see her struggling anymore. We get it. But yeah, having the voiceovers, and we just know that she's just narrating now. We don't need to see she's writing. And like you said,
and like collecting the gossip.
Yeah. Why are people still standing next to her? Really quick, one of my things too this year, we start with every season of Bridgerton has a ball. Every season of Bridgerton has a ball. The Bridgertons host their own masquerade ball. That was the most lush, beautiful color palette I've ever seen.
The costumes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
My one issue was it was the most boring ball.
I don't think, other than Benedict and Sophie, I don't think we saw anyone dancing.
No. I'm like, and everyone's like, and very small. Like, did they cut extras out? Because other balls have been very well populated. And I'm like, this is a really tiny ball. Also, it's boring.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but
boring.
Not much happened.
And the costumes this season, I feel like are, they've always been beautiful and bright and colorful, but this season, I don't know, there was just a different feel and tone, and it just.
I noticed the jewelry too. Every lady is wearing really chunky.
It was it's like the early 2000s all over again, and J. Crew's bubble necklaces.
Yeah, really chunky, like metallic and gemstone necklaces, which really contrasts with Sophie's like tiny pendant,
right?
That everyone comments on, but we still can't tell what it is.
I know. I had to like zoom in. I literally like magnified my computer screen. I'm like, still can't see it. Don't know.
And maybe it'll be better on a big screen TV, and you'll be able to see it. But like it does feel like a very intentional contrast of these big, they cannot be historically accurate, chunky necklaces with her.
Right. Just a little tiny. But so yeah, the feel feels a little bit different, but it's Bridgerton.
I will say Penelope in black at the ball was,
and I think that is
so gorgeous.
Nicola's actual, I want to say that's her natural hair color. Oh my God, she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous. And we will say this again, Sophie's mask was beautiful, amazing. Her whole I loved her costumes. I loved it when she borrowed the sisters, the Bridgerton girls' outfits. I loved those outfits. I thought that the
And her
costume
coat, her
yes.
long, like, Elizabeth Bennet coat was
Oh,
gorgeous. I want
amazing.
one.
Amazing. I know. I want all of it.
Mhm. One more thing on costumes, though.
Yeah.
They have gone really, really light on Sophie's Korean connection. There's
Yeah.
they changed her name. They mentioned that she speaks Korean.
Mhm.
One thing I hope they do in part
Mhm.
2
Mhm.
is incorporate a little bit of the Korean style. There's
Culture.
a Korean dress style called hanbok. And in this time period, it's in Korea, it's the Chosen time period. They have beautiful dresses, like beautiful, colorful dresses. So I hope they incorporate a little bit
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Like, I get them not wanting to be like, she's Korean and really punch him in
Mhm.
the face with it. But I hope there's a little more nods
Right.
because the show is so known for its
Di
costumes.
and it's diversity, and they
Yes.
did that in the 2nd season with Kate. Kate
Mhm.
and Edwina, they actually embraced the Indian culture. They embraced all of that, and they incorporated that into their costumes, and I
Yeah.
hope they do the same, like you said. I hope they choose to do the
Mhm.
same, especially since this season is very much about embracing who you are and
Mhm.
returning, because we keep hearing Lady Danbury's wish to go to, I think she keeps on calling, she doesn't say where it is, but she keeps on calling it her motherland. Is it motherland?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Danbury
so
says it a lot for sure.
and so let's hope, like you said, this is a show that has embraced cultures
Mhm.
different from its own, and it has incorporated that into both the stories and into the costumes. So I'm hoping we see that as well in part
And I
2.
think it probably wouldn't even be able to happen until later because right now Sophie, like, she's in her, maid's outfit. She's in a borrowed dress. She's
Yeah.
in, Daphne's old dresses when they're in.
Mhm.
So I hope
Mhm.
part of her reclaiming her place
Yeah,
involves
exactly.
reclaiming her style.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what, obviously that leads to the next question, which is what we're looking forward to in part 2. I think it's safe to say we're looking forward to when Bennett goes, "Oh my god, it's the lady in silver. How did I not know?" And she's just like
I'm
she's like
finally
she's
figuring it
like
out.
this. That's how did you oh, you know, and everyone goes, I would love one person to be like, "You didn't know that was her? I knew it was her."
I hope there's not too much drama with it though, because you
Yeah.
know how when Colin found out Penelope was Lady
Oh
Whistledown and he was
gosh.
furious. I
And he
hope,
turned into a complete jerk. Yes.
yeah, complete dick.
Yeah.
I hope that reveal is not as dramatic. Um
Mhm.
I Benedict and Sophie's relationship has been pretty easy so far.
Yeah.
And now they have this, so I hope it gets the tension, the mistress tension gets resolved. We still see, even though she won't be his mistress, that she is still drawn to him
Mhm.
and struggling with that. I want to be with you. I don't
Mhm.
want to be with you this way.
Mhm.
Because we still need to have that connection, that
Yes,
and
we
that
do.
bond with them, even
Yeah, we
though
do.
Benedict
Yeah.
threw a big ol' wrench in it.
Oh, he did. He did. And I can't wait to see how he gets out of it. So, with that said, what we were trying to say is we did enjoy this season a little bit more than last season. Still
Yeah.
little tweaks that need to happen, but we still enjoyed it. So, once again, thank you so much. We are the Nerds Awaken. Thank you to Big Gold Belt Media. And Bridgerton season 4, part 1 is streaming now on Netflix. And here's to hope to season 4, part 2. Bye.